Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Advanced Tactics for a Dynamic Marketing Mix. My name is Lara Lima, and I'm part of the marketing team here at StackAdapt. And now let's get started. I'll hand it over to our presenters.
Thank you, Lara. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining Aku and I today to chat all things multi-channel advertising. Before we jump in, a quick intro. I am a sales manager at StackAdapt. I joined the company 2 years ago after working for over 7 years in various independent agencies, publisher side, and then making the decision to move tech side. And I've joined the sales team here in ANZ, based in Sydney. Outside of geeking out about programmatic and tech, I recently got engaged, love running, and all things food and cooking.
Thanks very much, Kerry. My name is Aku. I'm the Senior Account Manager based in Melbourne. I have over 8 years of experience within the industry. I've worked in various media houses and ad agencies in New Zealand. I'm still kind of new to Melbourne, so I like exploring when I'm not working, what's new to discover within Melbourne and soaking in sunshine. Passing it back to Kerry.
Fantastic. All right, we're excited to be speaking with you today, and let's jump in. For those of you unfamiliar with the amazing things happening at StackAdapt at the moment, we are the fastest growing DSP in ANZ and globally, the #1 rated DSP and workplace by G2, a dynamic full service team of programmatic experts. Our platform leverages tech, AI, and machine learning to create bespoke solutions tailored to each of our media partners. Multi-channel strategies are a big part of how we drive success, as they allow us to maximize platform potential, ensuring optimal campaign value. Today, we'll be exploring industry insights, tactics, and best practices using multi-channel strategies. We have an agenda today, so we'll be starting out with multi-channel marketing frameworks, implementing a successful strategy, then moving on to choosing the right channel mix. We'll then move on to effective, scalable multi-channel with StackAdapt, and then we'll wrap up with a Q&A. So let's jump in. As marketers, we want our campaigns to be memorable and impactful. On average, it takes 5 to 7 impressions for a consumer to remember a brand. We've all experienced it, seeing smart messaging from a brand and starting to feel differently. So, for instance, at the moment, I'm watching a show called Alone on SBS. It's great. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And I've been seeing a lot of Kia ads. I've also been hearing those ads on my commute to work, when I do go into the office, when I'm listening to my podcasts, and I see the brand a lot on billboards while I'm out shopping. So, I have to say I'm loving the rebrand, and I kind of want to be driving a new Kia right now. This webinar is not sponsored by Kia, but just an example of how consistent messaging across different channels and platforms helps reinforce brand recall and shift perception. So one key way we can do this is by harnessing the power of the multi-channel marketing framework. So what is multi-channel advertising? I'm sure a lot of you on the call would be aware that it is incorporating various channels and platforms into a cohesive media channel mix. But why is this important? Multi-channel advertising integrates diverse channels for cohesive media impact. So it's that cohesive media impact that is truly important here. Some key advantages include broad reach across various touchpoints, a diverse channel mix for robust full funnel performance, and sequential messaging for cross-device audience engagement throughout the day. So this strategy allows brands to stay close to their target market at each stage of their day using various touch points. So whether it be as they listen to their favorite podcast while commuting, like I love to do, whilst they watch their favorite binge-worthy reality TV shows with their family at home, also guilty, or while they browse the web on their lunch break. So really, it's about creating a personal connection to that audience and really integrating into their everyday lives. Ensuring programmatic activity fits strategically into the wider channel mix amongst social and traditional media ecosystems is also crucial for the success of media campaigns. We have seen this time and time again on our end, so let's explore this. When it comes to channel mix, the evolving digital landscape drives a need for diversification in advertising spend and channel adoption. So in 2023, we saw a major rise in adoption of digital and social channels, including digital ad spend reaching $640 billion globally, mobile ad spend reaching $431 billion globally, and social media ad spend exceeding $200 billion globally. Because who doesn't love a scroll and shop session? Popular channels today include video, display, social, CTV, and digital out of home due to their premium impact and the effective market share maintenance that they provide. Programmatic channels complement the broader channel mix and provide opportunities beyond traditional or walled garden spaces, so increasing reach and in real-time optimization opportunities, which brings us to our next topic. The benefits versus the challenges of a multi-channel mix. So there are certain perceived challenges and benefits that impact how we choose to approach our multi-channel campaigns. So challenges such as difficulty in measuring goals across multiple channels and the need for increased creative production can sometimes inhibit adoption of multi-channel strategies early on. But benefits such as reach extension, greater brand awareness, and improved ROI allow for enhanced engagement. So tapping into new audiences is really crucial here. So now onto the effect on frequency and reach through multi-channel. Managing reach and frequency is like cooking the perfect pasta. Cook too much and it becomes overdone and off-putting, too little and you're hungry for more and left unsatisfied. On average, 5 to 7 impressions are needed for a consumer to remember a brand. That's impression number 2 from a previous stat. So frequency is important in order to drive lasting impact. We need to be careful because overexposure can lead to ad fatigue. So we've all had the experience of watching our favorite show on a free-to-air BVOD platform and being bombarded with the same TVC over and over, sometimes several times in the one ad break. This is, as we all know, an extremely annoying user experience, and it creates a negative brand perception that we want to avoid. So it's a delicate balance and one that needs to be carefully considered. Some ways to increase reach and minimize frequency are combining high reach channels like audio, video, and CTV with more targeted channels like native display and other channels covering a wider range of touch points. Advanced targeting tactics like contextual targeting, browsing audiences, and lookalike modeling can help you efficiently find and reach new and relevant audiences. Testing and optimizing your channel mix allows you to identify the ideal frequency level for driving conversions without causing ad fatigue. All right, so let's talk about ROI. Multi-channel campaigns have a positive impact on conversion performance. That is a statistical fact. For instance, coupling display and native to drive a 0.60% increase in conversion rate, like we can see in this example. So we work with many agencies and brands who initially struggle to see the benefit of awareness activity when they have come from a pure performance background, or who are nervous about testing in-game, for instance, because it is relatively new to the market. But interestingly, by investing in new channels, you are statistically more likely to drive bottom line growth and performance, which is what we all want to do. So for another example, we work with an agency who does a lot of great work with NFPs and charities looking to ultimately drive donations. And for a time, we'd kind of been stuck in a holding pattern using similar channels for most of our campaigns, and we really wanted to switch things up. So we tried incorporating audio and CTV alongside display and native and saw an incredible result in terms of donations increasing. So this was a great result for the advertiser, the agency, and for us. So we've really seen the value of this multi-channel strategy and impacting the bottom line. All right, so on to implementing a successful strategy. It's always good to have SMART goals when planning. Yes, the ones from your uni lectures. This approach is still extremely valuable as SMART marketing goals guide effective planning, execution, and evaluation of marketing initiatives. These goals provide clarity, focus, and accountability, ultimately driving success and ROI for our efforts. I personally found that test and optimize is a particularly important part of that journey and process. Testing new channels and tactics really is the only way that we're able to reach new audiences and generate incremental performance. Understanding client profiles is essential for effective customer journey mapping. So segmenting client profiles based on demographics, interests, preferences, and behaviors helps identify the most relevant channels and touchpoints. This approach ensures tailored communication that resonates emotionally with users, fostering trust and long-term loyalty. So let's explore the full spectrum of distribution channels available to us and craft innovative strategies to engage and impact our target audiences effectively and have more fun doing this. The more we can be creative, innovative, and strategic, the more we can grow not only the success of our campaigns, but also the relationships we have with our clients and with our own work. Multi-channel strategy is a space where we can really achieve this and have fun while doing it. So now I'm going to pass over to the lovely Aku, who will be taking us through a deep dive into tactics, measurement, and some vertical specific examples.
Sure thing. Thanks so much, Carrie. So in a cookieless environment, you will need new targeting strategies to reach your audience. These include contextual targeting and lookalike expansion. So let's take a little bit of a deeper detailed dive into them. Contextual targeting display ads are based on the content of a web page rather than on user behavior or personal data. This enhances relevance and ad effectiveness. For example, a person reading an article about running might see ads for running shoes or fitness apps. StackAdapt has an advanced targeting feature called PCAI, which stands for Page Context AI. With PCAI, advertisers can input both in-context and out-of-context phrases. Looking at browsing audiences, these are behavioral targeting methods that lets you create audience segments based on specific topics or keywords of interest. This feature uses either AI-generated context or exact keyword match to generate an audience. You can then use this audience for your campaigns. Unlike page context AI targeting, browsing audience considers a lot of information about the user's interest. Another advanced tactic that I would like to touch upon is CRM data or any other type of first-party data that you have to create a lookalike audience. When you upload your customer data to StackAdapt, our platform will expand your audience based on their attributes and online behavior. This approach allows you to target users who are similar to your existing audiences, which can help to increase the scale of your campaign. Now let's look at testing and optimizing. And like Kerry rightly mentioned, testing and optimizing is extremely important for marketers. A/B testing or split testing, like we call it, it lets you experiment different campaign settings to find what works best. By creating multiple versions of a campaign with minor changes, you can test and see which one meets your KPI most effectively. This method helps measure and improve your marketing efforts, boosting performance and maximizing return on investment. For creatives, you can perform A/B testing by creating multiple versions of an ad with different visuals or texts, and then measure which version performs the best. For ad placement, you can test different locations on a web page or app to see where your ad gets the most engagement. For messaging, you can experiment with different headlines, body text, and calls to action to determine which combination resonates the most with your audience. For channels, you can run campaigns on different platforms or mediums and analyze which one yields the highest return on investment. Now let's talk about how to really succeed at a multi-channel marketing strategy. To succeed at a multi-channel strategy, it's crucial to maintain a unified view of the customers across all channels. And again, like we touched upon this previously, this really helps in understanding the customer's journey and their interactions with your brand. Here are a few steps that you can take to succeed at a multi-channel strategy. Number one is to set control groups. This allows you to compare the performance of different strategies and make data-driven decisions. Number two is to measure multiple touch points. By doing this, you can understand which channels are most effective and how they can interact with each other. Number three is to ensure consistent customer experience. This is key to building a strong brand image. Make sure that your messaging and branding are consistent across all channels. Four is to remember consistency leads to higher brand recall, acquisition, loyalty, and retention. And lastly, always be testing and optimizing. This will help you continuously improve your strategy and maximize your return on investment. Now let's do a little bit of a deeper understanding of how to choose the right kind of channels and marketing mix. The simplest way to increase your reach is by advertising on more channels. By doing so, you can engage with a wider audience and increase your visibility of the brand. Like Kerry mentioned, the example of Kia, which was absolutely bang on to be able to explain this, what we're talking about with a relevant example. It's important to ensure that the channels you choose align with your target audience's preference and habits for the best results. You can also use forecasting tools on our platform to predict scale and reach by using a combination of various channels. Increase impact with emerging channels. So to build a more robust strategy, expand your multi-channel approach by incorporating more channels like programmatic audio, in-game advertising, and digital out-of-home. Expanding your multi-channel strategy will increase your reach by capturing users who are not only on some of the other channels. You're able to reach users across different platforms and create a cohesive story. For example, with audio, it offers you precise targeting based on demographics, interest, and listening habits. It also offers extremely high engagement because you can reach users during activities like driving or exercising. And it has a very high ad recall because users are engaged while they're listening to the ad, so it has a very high ad recall. With in-game, it offers wide reach with access to diverse demographics, including millennials and Gen Z. The ads are extremely interactive, so you can use playable ads to increase engagement. And the ads are extremely highly engaging as gamers are very engaged, which again leads to a very high brand recall. With digital out of home, it offers real-time content updates based on various factors. It has extremely high visibility, so the ads are extremely visible, especially during high traffic areas, which reaches wide audience. And creative display uses motion and interactivity for engaging ads. So to cover the entire funnel, choosing the right advertising format is crucial for different campaign goals. For example, CTV is effective for upper funnel goals, while in-game advertising works well for mid-funnel and lower funnel goals. Consistent exposure to your brand across various channels and devices helps move potential customers further down the funnel towards the desired conversion. So here are some of our recommended channel combinations. You'll see for upper funnel, we've used video and audio and combined it with a native channel for mid and lower funnel conversion driving. In another example, we've got a combination of digital out of home and CTV for upper funnel activity with display for lower funnel activity. And we've also got in-game and native for upper funnel with a combination of display for lower funnel and mid-funnel activity. So what does a multi-channel strategy look like? Utilize display and video ads to grab attention and build brand awareness. These formats are excellent for reaching a broad audience and making a strong visual impact. Then leverage native ads for deeper engagement. Since these blend into the content, they're more likely to be read and engaged by users who are already interested in related topics. And finally, use all three for conversion. How is that? With a focus on retargeting strategies. For example, after initial exposure through display and video ads, follow up with native ads that provide more detail or offer incentives to users who have shown interest. Make sure your messaging is consistent across formats, but tailored to the strength of each. For instance, your video ads might tell a compelling story, while your display ads highlight a key visual, and your native ads provide useful related content. So this is what a multi-channel tactic for a retail brand could look like. Within the awareness funnel, we've used interactive digital out-of-home, in-game, and social media ads. Within consideration space, you can use in-app interstitial or in-stream video with a combination of CTV and search. And for conversion, we've used rich media display ads along with some retargeting carousels. Effective scalable multi-channel strategy with StackAdapt. As a multi-channel platform, StackAdapt enables advertisers to reach their target audience across various channels. This maximizes reach and engagement, ensures consistent messaging, and enhances campaign effectiveness and return on investment. So we recommend using our forecasting tool to determine the best channel mix for your campaign. StackAdapt's forecasting tool offers features in four main areas. Firstly, target demographic. The tool includes a benchmark feature which helps identify high-value opportunities by providing information on impressions and performance. You can filter by brand, category, channel type, device, location, and much more. The second one is campaign scale. So the scale-based budget allocation feature uses machine learning to optimize your budget towards the campaigns with the most potential. It's ideal for various campaign strategies without exact budgets. Channel mix. The forecasting tool allows you to easily transform a forecast into campaign for both single and multi-channel setups, ensuring effective channel management. And one more feature is budget guidance to get guidance on budget needed to reach your target audience for each channel. So now that we've discussed the forecasting tool on StackAdapt, let's also look at how StackAdapt can help you with designing your creatives in a cost-effective and cost-efficient manner. Let's start with Creative Hub. Imagine that you're a digital marketer. I mean, a lot of us are digital marketers, so don't need to imagine that. And you need fresh on-brand display ads for new campaigns. Normally, this would take us days or even weeks, not to mention the cost of hiring designers. With Creative Hub, you can build rich media display creatives in minutes for free. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Choose a template, customize it with your brand's images, fonts, logos, and text, and voila, you've got a polished professional ad ready to go. Let's say you're launching a multi-channel campaign and need ads in various sizes. The Creative Hub allows you to create multiple ad sizes in one click. This not only saves you production time, but also ensures consistency across all ad formats. And like we've discussed in detail, this is one of the key parts of having a strong and effective multi-channel strategy. Now let's talk about Creative Studio. The Creative Studio is where multi-channel creative strategy development, ad production, and consultation come together. Whether you need creating ads from scratch, converting files, or even video editing, our team of 50 digital designers, motion specialists, and strategists have got you covered. Here is a fun fact. Ads created by our Creative Studio have shown a 49% lift in performance compared to those provided by clients. This is because our team uses data from millions of interactions to craft creatives that resonate with your audience. We tailor ads to every phase of the customer journey, ensuring that your creatives are not only visually appealing, but also strategically aligned with your campaign goals. Whether it's a HTML5 ads, video editing, or creating alternative ad formats, we've got the expertise to take your creatives to the next level. Now, one of the other important aspects of running a campaign besides planning and creative strategy is reporting. StackAdapt offers a variety of reporting solutions. We've got Incremental Reach Report, which compares the unique reach of your StackAdapt campaign to linear TV. It can be viewed by default, by channel, or by campaign. We also offer Brand Lift Reports. These reports are part of insights provided by StackAdapt Advanced Connector, and these reports show the impact of your campaigns on brand perception and awareness. We also have creative reports, which visualize insights on media cost, impressions, and stats by creative. And finally, we've also got Footfall Attribution Report. This is an in-house measurement solution that helps advertisers with brick and mortar locations understand post-digital engagement. It tracks conversions for up to 30 days after the last impression, helping you understand how your online advertising results in offline visits. Now, passing it back to Kerry for a wrap-up and a QA session.
Fantastic. Thank you, Aku. So just to wrap up, looking at some key points that we covered. So boosting brand awareness through frequency. Let's, minimize that dreaded ad fatigue, be, creative with our channel mix to ensure that we have a ideal level of frequency and that we're able to reach our audiences enough so that we can have an impact. We need to test. Don't be afraid to test new channels. Statistically, it will increase that bottom line, so you don't need to worry. It's a way that we can increase our reach and really use the strengths of each channel in order to do that within the wider mix. Also delivering seamless customer experiences. At the end of the day, we're reaching people. We want to speak to people, connect with them. And the best way to do that is to stay close to them throughout each stage of their day, as we discussed. So the best way to do that is through a multi-channel strategy. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We will pass now to a Q&A.
Thank you so much, Aku and Kerry. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation as much as I did. We'll now move on to the Q&A session. So please continue to submit your questions through the webinar panel to your right. And we already received several questions during the webinar, so we'll start with those. But don't worry, if we don't get to yours during the webinar today, we'll follow up directly via email. Okay, so let's get started. First question. For a B2B tech business only using display at StackAdapt to retarget site visitors, what secondary channel would you recommend for a mid and lower funnel?
Okay, I can jump In on this one, I would recommend Native. Native is a channel that we see a lot of great success with across our B2B campaigns. We can continue to be strategic using certain targeting tactics like, contextual strategies to ensure we're appearing on relevant articles. We can start to use, CRM lists and first-party data to be a lot more targeted or reach lookalike audiences of that kind of initial adoption audience. But we do see a lot of success with native and display for B2B.
And just to add here, you can also leverage third-party B2B data. There's a lot of B2B segments by Bambora and IOTA, which I've seen have a lot of effective performance. So definitely recommend leveraging that as well.
Thank you both. Next question. What is the biggest channel you face planning and executing multi-channel campaigns?
The biggest challenge that we face executing multi-channel campaigns, I think it's really just about ensuring that there's an understanding of each channel's role within that channel mix. The adoption piece is the first hurdle that we find. As we were discussing, sometimes there's some inertia around adopting new channels, particularly if you have been doing one thing with a similar mix of channels up until a certain point and seeing success. Initially it's about providing education and information around what value broadening that channel mix is going to provide to the bottom line and across all areas of the funnel for that advertiser. And then when we move to execution, the challenges that I find generally are around ensuring that we are super aligned with the role of each channel. So we shouldn't be using CTV to measure ROAS directly necessarily, but rather using it to bolster other channels within the mix, like native, like display, that are a lot more, the nature of those channels is a lot more cohesive for those particular KPIs.
Wonderful, great answer. Now, moving on to the next question. How can I best position multi-channel to a client new to programmatic?
I think a lot of that would stem from education as well. So anyone who is new to programmatic probably doesn't really understand the world, and they're expecting performance-oriented results quite immediately. So that's where our role as marketeers comes in, to be able to explain them the importance and the role of programmatic. For example, some of my clients, they're always like, I'm going to be putting in X amount of money on search because we can see immediately high level of conversion surging from search. And that's when I have to step in as an educationalist, saying that, your brand could be exposed on a digital out of home campaign. They could be hearing about it on a podcast while driving. And then suddenly when they need that product, that's when it's off the top of their mind and they go on search and they find your brand. So that's when, the last touch attribution will attribute it towards the success of the channel towards search. But there's a lot of work that has been done beyond that and beforehand to be able to get to that result. So I think as marketers, it's upon us to be able to do that educational piece with people who are new to the world of programmatic.
Great. Completely with you. Moving on to, we have one last question. How do you manage budget limitations whilst also trying to expand media mix?
I can jump in on this one. This is something we see quite commonly. Again, we have to work with what is most feasible for the end advertiser, whilst we're also wanting to achieve, the best possible result for our campaigns. And I think this is where the StackAdapt team can come in really handy to be your programmatic expert and really provide insight into, the best performing channels that we can focus on. It's about cost efficiency. So how can we, focus the budget that we do have on hand on the right channels so that we can achieve the specific goal that we have. And we can't do everything all at once with a smaller budget. That's just not feasible. But let's be realistic about what we can achieve and focus on how we can be impactful within the confines of whatever media spend we're working with.
Yeah, and again, just to add here, one thing that I usually tell my clients is to focus on quality over quantity. So even if you're working with a smaller budget, just make sure that your creatives can still cut through. They're still weighted with certain sizable amount of budget so that we can still drive impact out of them.
Yeah, just quickly to add off the back of that as well, we have so much choice within the platform. It's a totally agnostic approach within our platform. So we do have all options available to us. We can be really strategic about what inventory sources we're using, about what certain audience tactics we're using. If cost efficiency is the main goal, we need to be strategic about it. And creative is one way to do that. Various audiences and the ones we're leveraging is another way, and also inventory sources is another key way to do that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again, Aku and Carrie. That was fantastic. And that wraps up today's session. We hope you got some interesting takeaways. And thanks once more for joining us and participating in the conversation. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.